Success starts with you. How to become your best self. What if I told you that everything you've been waiting for, success, confidence, growth, already starts with you? Not tomorrow, not next year, not when conditions are perfect. The real fight isn't with others, the real fight is you versus you. Every habit, every choice, every excuse, this is your battle. In the next hour, you'll discover how to take control of your life, break free from excuses, build habits that stick, and become the best version of yourself. One small, powerful action at a time. Are you ready to stop waiting and start winning your fight? Chapter 1. The Starting Point. Why Success Begins with You. Have you ever noticed how easy it is to fall into the habit of waiting? We frequently find ourselves caught in a cycle of postponement, delaying our dreams and aspirations for a seemingly more favorable time or set of circumstances. It's a common refrain: once I have a better job, I'll start that project. Or, once I gain a bit more confidence, then I'll take that crucial step forward. We often cling to these thoughts, convincing ourselves that the stars need to align before we can act. However, here's the hard truth: the cycle of waiting never truly ends. If you build your life around waiting for the perfect moment, you'll discover that the future will always remain tantalizingly out of reach. Always tomorrow, never today. It becomes a continuous loop that imprisons your potential, setting the stage for an unfulfilled life characterized by missed opportunities and suppressed aspirations. Real sustainable success starts with you, not with luck, favorable circumstances, or external validation. It begins with your conscious decision to take full ownership of your life, acknowledging where you are at this moment and making the most of what you have. It's not enough to simply wish for a different future. You must actively pursue it. Imagine this scenario: two individuals standing at the same starting line in life, facing similar challenges. One person expends all their energy blaming external factors, pointing fingers at their upbringing, the state of the economy, or the actions of those around them. This mindset maintains them stuck in a victim mentality, believing that their circumstances dictate their outcomes. In contrast, the other person recognizes the same challenges, but chooses a proactive approach. They ask themselves powerful questions. What can I do today with the resources and abilities I currently possess? They harness their circumstances as catalysts for creativity and innovation, rather than barriers to their progress. Fast forward 10 years, and a striking difference emerges between the two paths. One is filled with excuses and rationalizations, while the other is marked by tangible results and meaningful achievements. Consider a relatable example. Picture two high school students preparing for a significant final exam. The first student grumbles about their teacher's unclear instructions and blames their classmates for being distracting. They lament their situation, but take no real action to change it. Meanwhile, the second student adopts a completely different strategy. They design a detailed study plan, utilize study groups, watch supplementary tutorials online, and diligently practice exam questions until they grasp the material thoroughly. They recognize that their effort and application can influence their outcome rather than placing blame elsewhere. When exam day arrives, the result is not unexpectedly surprising. Responsibility is power, and embracing that responsibility catalyzes progress. Choosing to take ownership of your life triggers a profound internal shift. Instead of fixating on waiting for external changes or seeking validation from others, you begin to focus on making personal transformations. This pivotal shift marks the beginning of genuine growth and development. It's about cultivating resilience, adaptability, and an unwavering commitment to continuous improvement. Now let me pose a direct question to you. In what areas of your life have you found yourself waiting? Are you waiting for more favorable circumstances? Are you seeking permission from others to pursue your dreams? Perhaps you're waiting for a surge of confidence to propel you forward. Reflecting on these questions is vital. To truly embrace ownership of your life, you need to understand why you've been hesitant to take action. What fears or doubts are holding you back? What beliefs about your abilities or situation need to be challenged? Here's a powerful, albeit challenging truth. Confidence does not precede action, it follows it. If you believe that you need to be confident before taking a step forward, you may find yourself eternally stalled. Instead, real confidence is cultivated through the act of taking action, learning from your experiences, and embracing the journey, including the failures and setbacks along the way. You must take the first step, however small, before you can develop the self-assuredness needed to continue moving forward. To break this cycle of waiting and rerouting your mindset, consider implementing actionable strategies aimed at fostering personal ownership. Start by defining your goals clearly. What do you truly want to achieve and why? Write down your aspirations, whether they pertain to your career, personal life, or creative pursuits. When your goals are clear, they become less abstract and more tangible, making it easier to devise a plan of action. Next, assess the resources available to you. What skills do you possess? What connections can you leverage? What knowledge can you acquire? Instead of focusing on what you lack, concentrate on what you can do today with what you have. Each small step you take builds momentum and paves the way for greater accomplishments. For instance, if you're looking to start a new business, reach out to a mentor in the field, enroll in a relevant course, or begin conducting market research, all actions within your control. Additionally, seek out environments that encourage accountability and growth. Surround yourself with individuals who inspire you and share your ambitious mindset. This could mean joining professional networks or seeking out communities aligned with your goals. Such networks bolster your commitment, making it more difficult to slip back into complacency. When you're surrounded by motivated individuals, their energy can be contagious, reigniting your drive and determination. A significant part of taking ownership of your life involves cultivating a growth mindset. This philosophy, popularized by psychologist Carol Dweck, emphasizes that abilities and intelligence can be developed through effort and perseverance. When you adopt a growth mindset, challenges become opportunities for learning rather than insurmountable obstacles. Embrace failures as stepping stones to success, viewing them as essential parts of your development rather than definitive endings. It's also vital to practice self-compassion. Accept that you are on a journey and that it's okay to make mistakes or experience setbacks. Treat yourself with the same kindness you would offer a friend facing challenges. Recognize that everyone struggles from time to time and allow yourself the grace to keep moving forward, regardless of imperfections. As you continue on this path, remember the importance of consistency. Success rarely comes from a single grand gesture. It's built over time through small, consistent actions. Develop daily habits that support your goals, whether that means dedicating a few minutes each day to learning something new, working on a project, or reflecting on your progress. Focus on creating a routine that reinforces your commitment to personal ownership. This audiobook is designed to serve as your comprehensive guide to becoming the best version of yourself. However, it's crucial to understand, I cannot do the work for you. No book, mentor, or motivational speech can take that responsibility away from you. I can only illuminate the path. The real transformation starts when you make the vital decision in this very moment to stop waiting and start actively owning your personal journey. Remember, success begins with you. The time to start is right now, not tomorrow, not next week. Today is the day to make the conscious choice to move forward. Take that first step, however small, and watch as every subsequent step becomes easier, creating a gradual shift from waiting for a perfect moment to actively creating your desired future. By breaking the cycle of waiting and taking ownership, you not only fuel your success, but also inspire those around you to embark on their own journeys of growth and transformation. Your story can motivate others, perpetuating a cycle of positive action, creativity, and change. So take ownership, today and every day onward. Chapter 2. The Power of Personal Ownership. Ownership extends far beyond the mere acknowledgement of mistakes. It embodies a profound mindset and an intentional way of life that embraces accountability at its core. When you take complete responsibility for your life, you metaphorically claim the driver's seat, actively steering your own course rather than passively occupying the passenger seat, subject to the whims and decisions of others. This pivotal decision marks the beginning of transformative change, allowing you to become the architect of your destiny. Consider this perspective. If you consistently point fingers at your boss for your stagnant professional growth, you effectively hand over the keys to your future, making it entirely contingent on their actions and perceptions. You place your career trajectory in the hands of someone else, relinquishing your own power over your progress. Similarly, if you attribute your financial hardship to the fluctuations of the economy, you become an unwilling captive to external forces that are outside your realm of influence. This victim mentality can trap you in a cycle of blame and self-pity, leading to a stagnant life where potential remains dormant and dreams fade away. Conversely, when you cultivate true ownership, an authentic sense of accountability for your circumstances, you unlock the pathway to liberation. By recognizing that your choices directly influence your outcomes, you equip yourself to forge new and better results moving forward. This conscious choice to embrace ownership involves not only recognizing your role in your circumstances, but also actively seeking solutions to overcome challenges. Let me illustrate this concept with a story that encapsulates the essence of ownership. Once, there was a promising young athlete who constantly lamented his lackluster performance, often blaming his coach for what he perceived as insufficient training. He would express frustrations like, "The training program fails to challenge me," or "My coach underestimates my capabilities." His focus was consistently on external factors, and this pattern of blame not only limited his growth, but also clouded his potential. Eventually, the coach, fed up with the athlete's excuses, presented a challenge. "You may be right, my training regimen might not be adequate, so I challenge you to devise your own program, train harder than anyone else, and show me what you can achieve." At first, the athlete resisted this daunting challenge, clinging stubbornly to his blame and feelings of powerlessness. The idea of taking ownership of his training seemed intimidating and possibly insurmountable. However, after some introspection, he came to realize that every excuse he had fabricated not only undermined his potential, but also stripped him of his control over his athletic career. Each time he blamed his coach, he effectively surrendered the reins of power, limiting his ability to take action. It was during this moment of clarity that he made a critical decision. He would seize ownership of his training and performance. This shift led to a remarkable transformation. He began to implement the training techniques that resonated with him, dedicating time and effort to improving his skills. His commitment to training intensified, his self-discipline sharpened, and he soon found himself surpassing even his coach's highest expectations. Not only did the athlete achieve better results, but he also gained a sense of fulfillment and pride that stemmed from knowing he was responsible for his success. This shift was not due to external circumstances changing. Rather, it was because he radically transformed his approach and mindset. Ownership is not merely about immersing oneself in guilt or spiraling into self-pity. It is about stepping boldly into a position of power and authority over your life. This journey involves thoughtfully examining both your achievements and setbacks and confidently asserting, "I created this, I own this, and I possess the capability to change this." This affirmative stance fosters resilience, motivating you to take action rather than dwelling in a passive state of inaction. When you fully embrace ownership of your victories, you cultivate a deep and empowering sense of confidence. Each success becomes a testament to your ability to shape your own reality. On the flip side, when you take responsibility for your failures, you amass invaluable insights and wisdom. Instead of viewing failures as demotivating setbacks, you can see them as opportunities for growth and learning. Both of these dimensions are essential for authentic personal growth and development. Now take a moment to reflect. Where in your life are you still relinquishing your personal power? Perhaps you blame your parents for the life lessons you believe they neglected to teach you. It might be that you hold your partner responsible for not wholly supporting your ambitions. Alternatively, you may find yourself excessively critical of your own actions, paralyzed by self-doubt and guilt. It's vital to pinpoint these areas because acknowledging them is the first step toward reclaiming ownership. It's crucial to understand that ownership does not mean denying the reality of hardship. Instead, it involves acknowledging the challenges before you while affirming, "Despite these obstacles, I choose to take proactive steps." Acknowledgement is empowering. It creates a foundation upon which you can build your resilience. By recognizing the obstacles, you can formulate actionable strategies to navigate them effectively. Here's a practical exercise you can undertake today. Identify one specific area of your life where you have been idle, waiting for others to change or take action. It could be your career, relationships, health, or financial situation. Write down your truth. I have been blaming my gesil for krangs, but from this moment forward, I commit to taking full ownership of my actions and decisions in this area. Articulating your acknowledgement not only solidifies your commitment to ownership, but also serves as a powerful reminder of your ability to enact change. This simple yet transformative declaration holds the power to shift your mindset from one of helplessness to one of empowerment. Reflect on the implications of this shift in mentality. When you start to view challenges as opportunities rather than insurmountable barriers, you become more likely to confront them head-on. You cultivate a proactive mindset that prioritizes solutions over excuses, generating a sense of agency that permeates every facet of your life. Always remember, when you deflect blame onto others, you relinquish your power. Conversely, when you embrace ownership, you reclaim the reins of control. When you are in command of your life, the possibilities for growth, fulfillment, and success are truly boundless. Your personal narrative begins to shift from one of victimhood into that of a warrior, equipped with the knowledge and skill to navigate life's complexities. By embracing the power of ownership, you feed a cycle of continuous improvement. Each time you take accountability for your actions and decisions, you reinforce a belief in your capabilities. You become the hero of your own story, forging a path that resonates with purpose and determination. With each step forward, you create momentum that not only propels you through personal challenges, but inspires those around you to do the same. In conclusion, reflect on ownership as a cornerstone of personal transformation. It is a philosophy that empowers you to rise above circumstances, take control of your life, and become the best version of yourself. Make the commitment today to take ownership of your journey. The rewards, self-discovery, resilience, and authentic fulfillment are truly worth the effort. Remember, the power lies within you. Embrace it, and the impact will echo throughout every corner of your existence. Chapter 3. Consistency over motivation. We've all experienced those moments where inspiration strikes like lightning. Perhaps you watched a motivational video that resonated deeply, read a quote that felt like it was written just for you, or listened to a powerful speech that sparked a fire in your belly. In that fleeting moment of ignition, you feel utterly unstoppable, convinced that you can change your life for the better. But then reality hits. The next morning, the alarm rings at 5:30 a.m., and you immediately groan as the weight of the day sets in. The enthusiasm you felt just hours earlier seems like a distant memory. The gym, which seemed so appealing at 10 p.m. when you were ready to conquer the world, now feels too far away. The book you intended to read lies untouched on your nightstand, and the ambitious project you envisioned suddenly feels overwhelming. In an instant, motivation fades, and you're left questioning why you even bothered to be inspired in the first place. Here's the hard truth. Motivation is unreliable. It's like the weather, bright and sunny one day, cloudy and stormy the next. It can be a powerful tool that propels you forward, but if you build your future solely on motivation, your progress will rise and fall with your moods. One day you might feel like a champion, while the next you could barely muster the energy to get out of bed. This inconsistency can be discouraging, leading to a cycle of excitement followed by disappointment. In contrast, consistency is rock solid. It is unwavering, like a steadfast companion that walks alongside you, regardless of the storms or sun. Consistency doesn't ask, "Do I feel like it today?" Instead, it emphatically states, "I do it anyway." It is this commitment to action, regardless of how you feel, that sets apart those who achieve their goals from those who only dream of them. Think about something as mundane yet crucial as brushing your teeth. You don't wake up and consider skipping it because you were not feeling particularly motivated that day. No, you brush your teeth because it is part of who you are and a fundamental habit ingrained in your routine. Now imagine if you treated your goals with the same unwavering consistency that you apply to your daily hygiene. Consider this analogy. two individuals decide to embark on a fitness journey. The first person goes to the gym whenever they feel inspired. Perhaps they'll hit the gym 3 days in a row, get a burst of motivation from a social media post, and then fall off the wagon for weeks. In contrast, the second person commits to going to the gym 3 times a week regardless of motivation. They get up early, slip on their workout gear, and head out the door, no matter how they feel. Fast forward a year, and you can bet that the second person will have transformed their body and health, while the first will likely struggle to see any lasting changes. The lesson here is clear. Waiting for motivation is a losing game. What often gets lost in our quest for motivation is the staggering power of consistency. It beats intensity hands down. A single day teeming with massive effort might feel rewarding in the moment, but 100 small, consistent days of practice will ultimately lead to life-changing results. This concept, often referred to as the compound effect, signifies that every small choice we make starts to stack up over time. It's like drops of water that fill a bucket. Individually, they may look insignificant, but collectively they can lead to transformation. The secret behind this principle? Discipline is a conscious choice. You don't need to wait for a spark of inspiration to take action. You just need to decide. The power of decision is immense. When you choose to act consistently, you begin to redefine what is possible for you, even when motivation ebbs. Let's put this into practice. I challenge you to pick one thing, just one, that you are willing to commit to doing daily for the next 30 days. It could be as simple as doing 10 push-ups every morning, dedicating 15 minutes a day to reading, or writing just 1 page in a journal. It doesn't matter how small or seemingly insignificant it feels. What matters is that you show up every single day and honor that commitment. At the end of this 30-day experiment, you'll notice something profoundly powerful. Not only will you likely see tangible progress in your quest, whether it be strength, knowledge, or creativity, but you'll also find that your trust in yourself has grown. You'll discover that even when motivation is nowhere to be found, you can still move forward with purpose. This self-trust is invaluable, far surpassing any fleeting spark of inspiration that might flicker into your life temporarily. It's important to acknowledge that consistency does not mean perfection. There will be days when life throws a wrench in your plans. Perhaps you'll miss a day here and there. That's completely normal. The key is to get back on track as soon as possible. The journey of consistency is not about being flawless. Rather, it's about being resilient. It's about developing the ability to recommit to your goals after a setback, recognizing that one day's failure does not define your entire journey. Consistency breeds confidence. As you establish this new habit, you'll find that your confidence grows without you even realizing it. You'll begin to recognize your ability to stick to your commitments, which can translate to other areas of your life. This newfound confidence creates a domino effect. The more consistent you are in one aspect of your life, the more likely you are to replicate that success elsewhere. And then we come to results. With consistency, the results will follow. As the small actions you've committed to begin to compound, you will witness real, tangible transformation. This transformation may not happen overnight, in fact, it likely won't, but with perseverance, you can create a lasting impact. When you build habits around consistency, you're essentially training yourself to predict and deliver on your potential. Understanding the dynamics of consistency versus motivation enables you to take control of your journey. Instead of being at the mercy of your mood swings, you're empowered to create a life that reflects your true desires and ambitions. Think of how powerful it is to harness the ability to take action regardless of how you feel. This is the essence of personal mastery. In conclusion, let's refocus on the path ahead. Embracing consistency over motivation is not just about achieving goals. It's about cultivating a mindset that thrives on discipline. It's about understanding that every small action contributes to a greater vision. So, take a moment to reflect on your own goals. What is one small action you can commit to? How can you incorporate this new habit into your daily routine? As you embark on this journey, remember, consistency creates confidence. Confidence brings results, and those results will lead to extraordinary transformation in your life. The road may not always be easy, but I assure you, it will always be worth it. Embrace the power of consistency and watch how it changes not just what you achieve, but who you become. Chapter 4. Habits, Builders or Breakers. Your life today is the sum of your habits. Each routine you follow, whether intentional or accidental, quietly shapes who you are becoming. The notion that our present selves are mere products of our past choices highlights the profound influence habits have on our lives. Success is not built in a single grand moment. Rather, it is crafted in the small, repeated actions we perform every day. Each decision to engage in a particular habit, no matter how trivial it seems, contributes to the larger narrative of our lives. The quiet power of habits. Here's the tricky part. Habits don't shout, they whisper. You might not actively notice their subtle shaping of your life, but over weeks, months, and years, they determine the trajectory of everything you aspire to achieve. The influence of these daily routines often goes unnoticed until we take a moment to examine them critically, turning our attention inward to recognize the patterns that govern our behaviors. Consider your morning ritual. Do you find yourself reaching for your phone the moment you wake up? Scrolling through social media for 30 minutes before even standing up, perhaps? That small habit may feel harmless in the moment, but when multiplied over the course of a year, that's approximately 180 hours spent glued to a screen, time that could have been invested in learning, exercising, or building something meaningful in your life. Imagine flipping that script. Instead of starting your day with mindless scrolling, what if you devoted just 10 minutes to journaling and 20 minutes to reading? Over a year, that's 180 hours devoted to self-reflection, personal growth, and knowledge acquisition. The time is the same, but the outcomes are vastly different. Understanding the impact of routine. Here's a real-life example that illustrates this principle. A man I once knew dreamed of writing a book, but continually insisted he had no time to dedicate to such an endeavor. When he took a step back and reviewed his daily routine honestly, he discovered that he was unconsciously spending 2 hours each evening watching television. What seemed like a routine form of entertainment actually turned into a substantial barrier to his creative aspirations. Recognizing this pattern, he made a seemingly small swap. He reduced his TV time by half and committed to writing for just 1 hour each day. This minor adjustment led to monumental changes. In just 9 months, he completed his manuscript. What transformed was not his inherent talent or intelligence, but his habits. What he had initially perceived as a lack of time was actually a lack of strategic habit formation. The garden analogy. It's crucial to recognize that bad habits do not ruin your life in one dramatic moment. They take control slowly, similar to weeds growing in a garden. Left unchecked, these weeds spread, choke out your potential, and diminish your ability to flourish. Conversely, good habits, cultivated with intention, grow into sturdy roots that anchor your future. The act of nurturing these positive behaviors fosters an environment where growth can thrive. Self-reflection, the key to identify habits. Now, let's engage in a bit of self-reflection. Here's a question to ponder. What habits are quietly building me? And what habits are quietly breaking me? To answer this, take a step back and assess your routines. Think about the choices you make throughout the day and their long-term implications. Each decision is a brick laid in the foundation of your character and life trajectory. Identify one habit that you consider a time waster and evaluate its impact on your overall well-being. Perhaps it's endless scrolling, procrastination, or mindless snacking. It's essential to acknowledge these habits without judgment. Rather than trying to eliminate them all at once, which can be overwhelming, focus on replacing them with something more constructive. Implementing positive changes. Take the habit of scrolling for 30 minutes each morning. What if you swapped that time for a 30-minute walk outdoors? Instead of passively consuming content, you could engage in an activity that revitalizes both your mind and body. This creates an opportunity for reflection, awareness, and even creativity. Or consider the habit of negative self-talk. It's a pervasive struggle for many. Each morning, instead of allowing critical thoughts to shape your day, introduce one positive affirmation into your routine. This small act can gradually alter your self-perception and how you interact with the world around you. The power of small swaps. The key here is understanding that small swaps can lead to big shifts. Acknowledge that habits are not just routines, they are votes you cast every day for the type of person you are becoming. Each habit represents a choice, a deliberate step toward growth or a passive step toward decline. The accumulation of these choices creates a mosaic of your life. The ripple effect of habits can also have a ripple effect, influencing other areas of your life. When you establish a new positive habit, it often encourages other healthy behaviors to flourish alongside it. For instance, someone who begins exercising regularly may also start eating healthier, sleeping better, and feeling more motivated in their professional life. The snowball effect of good habits can lead to a transformational period in your life where you feel empowered and uplifted. The journey of habit formation. However, it's important to understand that creating new habits is not always a smooth journey. It requires patience, persistence, and a recognition that setbacks may occur. Just as a garden requires regular tending to thrive, so too do our habits need consistent attention. Celebrate the small victories along the way, and be kind to yourself during the tougher moments. Research has shown that it typically takes about 21 days to form a new habit, although this can vary among individuals. Stay committed to your goals, and remind yourself of the benefits you'll reap as your new habits solidify and become integral to your life. Conclusion: the personal reflection. So, as you go about your day, ask yourself honestly, what kind of person are your habits creating? Reflecting on your daily choices will bring awareness to the fruits of your habitual labor. Your habits will either serve as scaffolding, supporting your growth, or as weights hindering your progress. Ultimately, the power lies in your hands to shape the path you wish to walk. Embrace the wisdom that lies within each small choice you make and recognize that every vote matters. Each one is a testament to the future you are working to create. The journey of understanding and reshaping your habits may challenge you, but it will also empower you to become the architect of your own life narrative. In a world that often feels chaotic and overwhelming, let your habits plant the seeds of intention that will blossom into success, fulfillment, and a life designed by your own aspirations. Choose wisely and let your daily actions build the future you desire. Chapter 5. Choosing growth over comfort. Human beings have an innate inclination towards comfort. We are creatures of habit, seeking solace in the familiar. Picture this: the warm embrace of your bed on a bitterly cold morning, the predictable rhythm of your daily routine, or the well-trodden path that you've traveled countless times before. Comfort feels safe, reassuring, and easy. It's a space where we can often languish, free from the stress and strain that comes with change. But here lies the paradox we must confront. Comfort is, in fact, the enemy of growth. Every significant breakthrough in your life is accompanied by discomfort. Growth demands something of you: time invested, effort expended, energy expanded, and, at times, the bitter taste of failure. The very discomfort we strive to avoid is, paradoxically, the token we must pay to become our best selves. To truly understand this concept, let's visualize two distinct paths. On one, the ground is smooth, shaded, and free of obstacles, easy to walk and undeniably enticing. This path represents the choices that align with comfort. It feels good in the moment, a gentle nudge toward instant gratification, but ultimately, it doesn't lead anywhere new or transformative. Now let's consider the second path. It's rocky and steep, demanding every ounce of your stamina to navigate. It may be exhausting and daunting, but it rewards you with an unparalleled view at the summit, an experience that nurtures personal growth and enlightenment that few get to witness. Public speaking serves as a quintessential real-world example of this dynamic. For many, the mere thought of standing before an audience elicits a visceral reaction of fear. The heart races, palms grow clammy, and every instinct screams, "Run!" As a result, countless individuals shy away from this challenge. However, it is those brave individuals who confront discomfort head-on, who practice relentlessly, who stumble, who learn and improve, who ultimately acquire a powerful skill set. They develop the ability to communicate and lead, opening doors in their personal and professional lives that might otherwise remain shut. In this context, discomfort becomes not just an obstacle, but an advantage, an essential stepping stone for personal and professional development. Reflect on the journeys of athletes, artists, and entrepreneurs. Their paths to success seldom came about through the pursuit of what was easy. More often than not, their growth emerged from repeated decisions to choose the more arduous route. Athletes endure grueling training sessions, sacrificing comfort for improvement and excellence. Artists face the rejection of their work, pushing through the discomfort of critique to hone their craft further. Entrepreneurs confront uncertainty, navigating risks that make them question their decisions. However, they emerge, often triumphantly, on the other side. The truth, which cannot be overstated, is this: while comfort provides immediate relief, discomfort paves the way for long-term rewards. The gym may feel punishing today, but the fruits of that labor flower into strength and health tomorrow. Saving money could feel restrictively tedious now, yet that discipline cultivates future financial freedom. Likewise, saying no to distractions might seem challenging today, but it fosters clarity and focus in the days to come. So, ask yourself this probing question: are you gravitating towards what feels easy, or are you choosing the path that yields growth? It is essential to conduct an honest inventory of your life and the choices you are making, especially in areas where you find yourself residing in a cocoon of comfort. Let's delve into practical applications of this concept. Take a moment to write down one area of your life where you have been opting for comfort. Perhaps it's sidestepping those challenging conversations with friends or family, or maybe you reclinging to a job that doesn't fuel your spirit or stretch your capabilities. It could be that you've avoided pursuing a long-held dream because the fear of the unknown makes it feel insurmountable. Acknowledging these patterns is the first step toward change. Once you have identified this area, commit to taking just one uncomfortable step this week. This single action could be initiating that difficult conversation, exploring new job opportunities, or even enrolling in a class that propels you toward your dream career. Whatever it may be, recognize that growth requires courage, a courage that doesn't insinuate the absence of fear, but rather embodies action in spite of fear. In this journey, it is helpful to remember that the life you envision for yourself is not likely to be found within the confines of your comfort zone. It exists just beyond it, beckoning you to take that first step forward. When you resolve to choose growth over comfort, you unlock the door to your true potential. There is a certain empowerment that accompanies this choice, a realization that you are equipped to handle the discomfort, the fear, and the uncertainties that life throws your way. Over the years, many have shared transformative stories about overcoming their fears and embracing discomfort. Consider those who have chosen to travel alone to foreign places, pushing against their fear of solitude and the unknown. For many, such daring journeys foster self-discovery, resilience, and a broadened worldview. Now think about your aspirations. What's holding you back? The feelings of vulnerability, uncertainty, or fear of judgment can be potent deterrents. However, it's essential to recognize that every successful individual has faced these very fears. They didn't allow their comfort zones to dictate their capabilities or dreams. They ventured to confront their anxieties, embracing each challenge as an opportunity for growth. Moreover, as you embark on your journey of choosing growth, it's worth noting that discomfort can serve as a teacher. The lessons gleaned from tumultuous experiences can significantly shape your character and understanding of life. The moments that test you, whether through career shifts, personal challenges, or creative pursuits, often deliver the insights and wisdom that bolster your resilience and zest for life. As you navigate this journey, surround yourself with a support network of individuals who share a growth mindset. Engage with those who inspire you to continue pushing boundaries and stepping outside of comfort zones. Sharing your experiences, fears, and triumphs with others fosters a sense of community and belonging, reinforcing the idea that you are not alone in this endeavor. Ultimately, committing to growth over comfort is a lifelong journey, a continuous cycle of stepping into the unknown, facing the discomfort, and reaping the rewards that follow. Celebrate your milestones, no matter how small they may seem. Each uncomfortable step you take inches you closer to becoming the person you aspire to be. In conclusion, remember that embracing discomfort is a hallmark of personal growth. It is not merely about enduring difficult moments, but about recognizing the profound value they bring to your life. The path of growth may be steep and rocky, but it is also rich with opportunity, treasure, and enlightenment. By choosing to challenge your comfort zones, you open yourself to a world of possibilities, transformation, and success that you never thought possible. So as you ponder the choices before you, choose growth, not comfort, and embark on the journey toward unlocking your fullest potential. Chapter 6. Self-accountability when no one is watching. True character isn't revealed when the world is applauding you. It emerges in the quiet moments, when no one else is around to observe your actions or judge your choices. Think about those times. When the cameras are off, the teacher isn't grading, or the boss isn't watching. It's precisely in those moments that your true self is put to the test. This is what self-accountability is all about. This is what shapes and defines the essence of who you are at your core. Anyone can perform when the spotlight is bright, when others are watching, and when there's a reward to be gained or a punishment to be avoided. However, real growth and development come from a more intimate and sometimes challenging process. Holding yourself accountable in private, where it's just you and your choices. A tale of two students. Consider a simple but powerful example. Two students preparing for an important test. Both recognize that this exam has the potential to shape their grades and influence their educational choices. One student studies diligently only when the teacher assigns homework. They cram the night before, relying on the structure imposed by external expectations. The other student, however, adopts a different approach. They pick up their books and engage with the material consistently, even when the teacher isn't assigning homework, even when no one is checking their progress or assessing their dedication. When exam day arrives, the contrast between the two students becomes glaringly clear. The second student doesn't only rely on external accountability, they've cultivated internal discipline and self-regulation. This internal diligence translates to a deeper understanding of the material, better retention, and ultimately, superior performance. The lesson here is profound. The moments spent preparing in private, without external pressures, shape the very foundation of success. The fitness analogy. This principle is equally relevant in the realm of fitness. Many people can show up at the gym when they have a coach pushing them to lift heavier, run faster, or hit those final reps. The motivation from an external source can lead to impressive workouts. But what about those times when it's just you and the weights? What happens when there's no one to encourage you, no one monitoring your performance? That's when your discipline is truly tested. Picture this. You've set a goal to go to the gym 3 times a week. On a Wednesday evening after a long day at work, you inch your way towards the couch instead of the gym. There's nobody there to hold you accountable, to call you out on your lack of motivation. This is the moment where self-accountability comes into play. Do you power through the urge to relax and stick to your commitment? Or do you let slip the promise you made to yourself? Each choice you make during these moments shapes your habits, your self-perception, and ultimately your success. Building trust with yourself. Self-accountability is all about becoming the kind of person you can trust. If you tell yourself, "I'll wake up at 6, do you follow through?" If you commit to finishing a project by a certain deadline, do you honor that commitment, even if no one else will ever know about your promise? Each time you keep a promise to yourself, you reinforce a layer of trust. And conversely, every time you break that promise, that trust erodes like a gentle wave against a cliff, slowly but surely wearing it away. Think of it like a bank account. Every act of integrity, whether big or small, acts as a deposit into this account. Conversely, every broken promise is a withdrawal. Over time, you will either build wealth in self-respect, confidence, and self-esteem, or, conversely, end up in debt. The latter situation leads to feelings of inadequacy and self-doubt. As you navigate your journey towards self-accountability, Visualize your promises to yourself as investments in your future. Just like any investment, consistency and compound interest play a significant role in building wealth, whether financial or personal. The path to practicing self-accountability. So how do you cultivate self-accountability in your life? The answer may not be as daunting as you think. Start simple. Set small, manageable promises that you know you can keep. These could take the form of daily habits, like promising yourself to walk for 10 minutes, read for 15 minutes, or drink an extra glass of water each day. The key is consistency. Once you've proven your ability to follow through on these minor commitments, gradually raise the bar. Set slightly more ambitious goals, perhaps a workout routine that requires more dedication or a larger reading goal. With each success, you strengthen the muscle of self-accountability, turning a flicker of self-confidence into a roaring flame of self-trust. As you continue this practice, you may begin to notice a shift in your perspective. The once daunting tasks that seemed insurmountable when you lacked self-accountability now appear manageable. And as your discipline grows, so too does your ability to take on challenges that require more effort, complexity, and perseverance, the unstoppable force of inner discipline. And here's the reward. When you can rely on yourself in private, you become unstoppable in public. Your strength isn't built on outside pressure. It's forged through the inner fire of discipline, resilience, and integrity. This pillar of strength allows you to navigate life's challenges with confidence, knowing that you've consistently put in the work when it mattered most. Self-accountability leads to a profound sense of empowerment. You'll experience a heightened sense of autonomy, realizing that your choices are yours to control, free from the constraints of external validation. This realization is liberating. It can transform your life from one of dependency to one of proactive decision-making. So ask yourself honestly, what do I do when no one is watching? The answer to that essential question will tell you exactly where you are right now, and, more importantly, who you're becoming. Private victories fuel public success. Remember this fact. The world may never see your private victories, but those quiet moments of discipline and integrity underpin every visible success. Long after the applause has faded, the accolades have stopped, and the crowds have dispersed. It is those moments of self-accountability that remain as the foundation for your future achievements. They are your bedrock. In a world where so much value is placed on public recognition and external validation, it's vital to cultivate a deeper appreciation for the silent victories. Each time you choose to stay true to your commitments, especially when you're alone, you're building a legacy rooted in authenticity and trustworthiness. As you journey forward, keep in mind the importance of celebrating these private victories. They aren't just mere acts. They're the threads woven into the fabric of your character, creating a strong tapestry that will support and uplift you through the numerous challenges life has to offer. In summary, the journey of self-accountability may be a solitary one at times, but it is incredibly rewarding. Each step taken toward integrity, each promise kept, contributes to a life of deeper fulfillment, purpose, and success, both seen and unseen. So embrace this path, and let the strength of your character shine even when no one is watching. Chapter 7. Acting like your best self. Now, in our pursuit of success and personal growth, we often find ourselves caught in a loop of waiting. We perceive success and our best self as distant concepts, existing in a future that feels perpetually out of reach. We envision a version of ourselves that is more confident, disciplined, and capable, leading us to affirm, "One day, when I'm ready, I'll become that person." But here is the uncomfortable reality. Waiting to feel ready only serves to keep you stuck in place. Your journey toward becoming your best self doesn't start with grand gestures or a moment of clarity in the future. Instead, it begins with small, intentional actions taken right now. Change isn't a mythical event that occurs at some future point. It is a gradual process that unfolds in the present moment, when you decide to live as if the best version of yourself already exists. Consider the world of acting. Actors don't wait for an emotion or a moment of inspiration to define their character. They step onto the stage, clad in costumes that represent someone else's life experiences and embody that character. Initially, it may feel like an act, like pretending. However, with practice, those portrayals evolve into something more profound and authentic. The more they immerse themselves in the role, the more natural the performance becomes. You have the ability to do exactly the same in your life. Let's take a closer look at a case study to illustrate this concept. Imagine a young professional who has aspirations of becoming a leader within her organization. Despite her dreams, she constantly tells herself, "I'm not experienced enough yet. I need more training. I need a title before I can consider myself a leader." Those thoughts may seem rational, but they only serve to paralyze her growth and potential. One day, her mentor took her aside and challenged her mindsets. "Stop waiting to be a leader," she said. "Start acting like one today. Speak up in meetings, take initiative, help others. Don't wait for an external validation or a title. Demonstrate your ambitions through your actions." Initially, the young professional felt uncomfortable. It felt unnatural, like she was putting on a performance. Nevertheless, she trusted her mentor and began to step outside of her comfort zone. At first, her contributions in meetings were tentative, her voice unsure. But as she continued to practice these behaviors, actively listening, sharing her insights, asking questions, and taking initiative on projects, something remarkable began to happen. Slowly but surely, she started to develop real confidence. Each small action added to an accumulating sense of self-assurance, and soon her colleagues began to recognize her as the leader she aspired to be. This evolution serves as a bridge between intention and reality, behaving today like the person you wish to become tomorrow. Only takes a deliberate shift in mindset and action to transform the trajectory of your life. Identifying your best self. To begin this transformative journey, take a moment to ponder the question, what does my best self do daily? This inquiry requires introspection. Your best self is not merely a vision not limited to aspirations of success. It's a holistic picture of your values, habits, and behaviors. Consider the specifics. Do they wake up early to start the day? Do they dedicate time for learning and personal development, whether through reading online courses or engaging discussions? Do they prioritize their health through regular exercise and balanced nutrition? Are they confident in their communication, articulating ideas clearly and assertively? Do they manage stress and challenges with poise, maintaining a calm demeanor even under pressure? Understanding the daily habits and attributes of your best self is a crucial first step. Once you've created a vision, write a short description of your best self in one concise sentence. For instance, my best self is focused, disciplined, and calm under pressure. Taking daily action. After defining your best self, commit to taking one small action each morning that aligns with that vision. This action doesn't have to be drastic. Even minor adjustments can produce significant change when performed consistently over time. Ask yourself each morning, what is one small action I can take today that aligns with that version of me? If your best self wakes up early, set your alarm for an hour earlier and use that time to read or exercise. If they engage in lifelong learning, commit to reading a chapter of a book each day, or taking an online course in a topic of interest. If they approach challenges with composure, practice mindfulness techniques to handle stress. Implementing these habits consistently allows you to practice being your best self daily. Slowly, these behaviors will no longer feel like a pretense or a performance. They will become authentic to who you are. Each action helps solidify a new identity, reinforcing the belief that you are indeed growing into the person you wish to be. Embracing discomfort. It's essential to acknowledge that stepping into a new version of yourself can feel uncomfortable. During this process of transformation, you may encounter resistance or self-doubt. This discomfort is part of the journey. It signifies that you're stepping outside your comfort zone and challenging existing beliefs about yourself. Consider this. Growth occurs at the edges of discomfort. When you feel uneasy, it often indicates that you are on the brink of growth. By pushing through that discomfort and continuing to act in alignment with your best self, you reinforce the transformation. Over time, what once felt awkward can become second nature, and you will find yourself increasingly embodying the characteristics of the person you want to become. Building confidence through action. 1. Critical component of this process is the idea that confidence is built through action. Often we think confidence is a prerequisite for taking action, believing that we must first feel confident before stepping forward. However, the reverse is true. When you take small steps toward your goals, confidence comes as a result of those actions. Celebrating each small victory, whether it's successfully speaking up in a meeting, completing a workout, or maintaining a daily learning habit, reinforces your belief in your capabilities. As you see the positive outcomes of your actions, your confidence grows, and you begin to view challenges through a different lens, one of opportunity rather than fear. A continuous journey. Remember, the journey toward becoming your best self is not a linear path, but a continuous process of evolution. You will experience moments of progress, and there may be setbacks along the way. The key is to recognize that transformation does not happen overnight. It's cultivated through perseverance, intention, and choice. As you grow more comfortable with your new habits and identity, reevaluate your vision of your best self regularly. As you evolve, so will your aspirations and the habits that serve you best. Your best self is a dynamic concept that may shift as you gain new experiences and insights. Stay open to those changes and adapt accordingly, allowing your journey to be as fluid as it is intentional. Conclusion. In conclusion, the truth is that transformation doesn't live in the future. It's happening now in the present, every time you choose to act as though your best self already exists. That version of you, capable, confident, and aligned with your goals, is waiting for you to embrace it. Embrace it not with grandiose plans or a hoped-for moment of readiness, but through conscious, small actions taken each day. As you embark on this journey towards self-actualization, remember that you possess the power to create that desired version of yourself. Each moment is an opportunity to affirm your true potential and step into the life you envision. Let this be a call to action, a reminder that the best way to predict your future self is to start living it today. Chapter 8. Breaking Free from Excuses. Excuses are the silent killers of progress, lurking in the recesses of our minds, reshaping our narratives into stories of defeat and inaction. They might sound harmless at first. Phrases like, "I don't have time," "I'll start tomorrow," or "I need more resources" can almost appear as valid statements. But the reality is that each excuse serves as a wall, quietly but effectively blocking us from achieving our true potential. Understanding the nature of excuses. Here's the hard truth. Excuses aren't just harmless words. They are the stories we tell ourselves, woven into fabrications that justify our inaction. Each time we utter an excuse, we give away power over our lives, ceding control to these self-imposed limitations. But what do these excuses really represent? They are often a manifestation of fear of failure, fear of judgment, or even the fear of success. We convince ourselves that it's easier to remain stagnant than to risk the unknown. Take a moment to reflect on your own life. Consider your aspirations and ambitions. How often have you found yourself postponing action with the comforting assurance that the right opportunity will arise? This mindset may feel safe, but it is in fact one of the greatest threats to your growth and fulfillment. The distinction between those who progress and those who remain stagnant often boils down to their willingness to confront these excuses head-on. The weight of excuses. Consider the analogy of two friends who share a dream of starting their own business. Friend A is filled with hesitation, that relentless inner voice echoing, "I don't have the money right now," "The market isn't ready," or "I need the perfect plan." Each excuse builds a wall, isolating this friend from the path to entrepreneurship. On the other hand, friend B adopts a different approach. Rather than waiting for the perfect scenario, they embrace imperfection and begin taking tiny, consistent steps with the minimal resources available. Months down the line, the contrast becomes glaring. Friend A remains paralyzed by fear and uncertainty, while friend B has made significant progress, translating dreams into reality through actionable steps. Excuses are seductive, because they create an illusion of safety. They seem to protect us from failure, discomfort, and accountability. However, while they shield us from immediate pain, they simultaneously shield us from growth. The cost of excuses may not be immediately apparent, but over time, it compounds, much like accruing interest on a loan. Every "I can't" accumulates, creating a towering structure that distances you from your objectives, making your dreams feel elusive, almost unreachable. The breakthrough moment. But here's the breakthrough. The moment you stop making excuses, you reclaim control over your life. This shift in mindset requires a conscious effort to recognize when you are making excuses and to replace statements like "I can" with "I will." Even in small ways, this change can profoundly influence your trajectory and build momentum for subsequent actions. To begin this transformative journey, start small. Identify one excuse that you've been using repeatedly. It might be, "I don't have time to exercise," or perhaps "I'm too tired to work on my goals." Now challenge this narrative. Ask yourself, what evidence do I have that supports this excuse? Is it truly insurmountable? More often than not, you will discover that these limitations are self-imposed beliefs rather than concrete barriers. Once you've identified an excuse, take one action today that proves it wrong. Even the smallest step counts. For example, if your excuse is about lack of time for exercise, commit to just a 5-minute walk. If you feel too tired to pursue your goals, challenge yourself to write one paragraph or make a single phone call related to your aspirations. The key is action, no matter how small, because every step you take dismantles these excuses, builds your confidence, and reinforces the truth. You are capable, and your life is yours to shape. Reinforcing the truth. Every time you act despite hesitation or fear, you reinforce a powerful truth. You are not defined by your circumstances. Understand this deeply. Excuses aren't reality. They are barriers you've created in your mind. They can feel insurmountable, especially when faced with challenges. But recognizing this is the first step toward dismantling them. Breaking free doesn't require grand gestures or monumental acts of bravery. Instead, it necessitates a combination of honesty, courage, and a willingness to act in the face of discomfort. It means acknowledging the stories you've been telling yourself about your limitations and finding the strength to rewrite those narratives. When you stop waiting for perfect conditions, a non-existent ideal, and start taking real steps today, you transition from a state of being stuck to becoming unstoppable. Practical steps toward breaking excuses. So how do you break free from these self-imposed limitations? Here are some practical steps to help guide your journey. 1. Identify your excuses. Take the time to write down the excuses you frequently use. Being aware of them is the first step toward dismantling their power. 2. Challenge your beliefs. For each excuse, ask yourself probing questions. Why do I believe this? What evidence do I have that supports or contradicts this belief? This can reveal the truth behind your excuses. 3. Take action. Choose one small action that contradicts each excuse and commit to it today. Remember, progress is built on small, consistent steps. Unique accountability. Share your goals and challenges with someone who can hold you accountable. Sometimes, knowing that someone else is aware of your intentions can motivate you to act. 5. Reflect and adjust. After taking action, reflect on the experience. What did you learn? Did the action feel empowering? Adjust your approach as necessary, recognizing that growth is a process. 6. Celebrate success. No matter how small, celebrate each step you take towards breaking your excuses. Acknowledging your progress will reinforce your newfound mindset and keep you motivated. Embracing the journey. Remember, progress begins where excuses end. It's common to encounter obstacles along the way, and there will be moments when you feel the pull of familiar excuses. However, embracing the journey of overcoming them will lead you to greater self-awareness, resilience, and freedom. Cultivating a mindset that rejects excuses is not merely about being active, it's about embracing a new identity. You transition into someone who doesn't shy away from challenges, but instead seek solutions. With every ounce of willpower you summon, you rewrite your story to one of determination and achievement. In the end, the only thing standing between you and your dreams is the narrative you choose to believe. You have the power to break free from the confines of excuses and step boldly into a future filled with possibility. Your dreams aren't as distant as they may seem. They are waiting for you to take that first step. And when you do, you will undoubtedly find that the life you've always desired is well within your reach. Chapter 9. Time as your most valuable resource. Time is the one resource we never get back. Unlike money, opportunities, or possessions, once a minute passes, it's gone forever. How you manage your time shapes everything: your personal growth, your success, and the life you ultimately lead. In a world that often glorifies busyness, many overlook the true value of time management, leading to a chaotic, unfulfilled existence. Yet, the way we perceive and utilize our time can drastically alter our life's trajectory. Most people treat time carelessly. Hours are lost scrolling through social media, binge-watching shows, or overthinking encounters and situations we cannot control. These moments might feel trivial in the moment, but when you aggregate them over weeks, months, or even years, they add up, stealing precious time and progress that could have propelled us forward. The dangers of this unintentional time theft are compounded by the increasing number of distractions vying for our attention, creating an environment where being busy doesn't equal being productive. Consider, for example, two professionals with identical skills and career ambitions. Let's call them Sarah and John. Sarah approaches her day with intention, scheduling specific blocks of time for learning, exercise, and focused work. Conversely, John drifts through his day, reacting to every email notification, succumbing to distractions, and allowing interruptions to dictate his workflow. At the end of the year, the contrast is stark. Sarah has developed new skills, opened up new opportunities, and made significant strides towards her professional goals. Meanwhile, John is left wondering why nothing has changed. The difference between them isn't talent or potential, it is how they choose to use their time each day. The importance of intentional living. Intentional living is the antidote to wasted time. It requires a conscious decision to structure your day and prioritize what truly matters. This means more than just drafting a to-do list. It's about making deliberate choices regarding where you invest your energy. It is about saying no to distractions, comfort, and the trifles that often cloud our vision and derail us from our goals. Intentional living is the practice of becoming the architect of your life, rather than the passenger. To cultivate intentional living, you begin by identifying your core values and what you want to achieve. This might involve setting long-term goals and breaking those down into manageable steps. What do you value most in life? Is it career advancement, personal health, relationships, or community involvement? Defining these priorities sets the stage for how you allocate your time. A simple exercise to get started. An effective way to start living intentionally is to engage in a simple exercise. Write down your top 3 priorities for the week. Take a moment to reflect on what truly matters to you during this period. These priorities will guide your actions and decisions each day. Once you've identified your priorities, the next step is to schedule specific blocks of time in your calendar dedicated solely to these tasks. Treat this allocated time as inviolable, just as you would protect a significant sum of money. Would you casually give away $100 to a stranger? Then don't casually give away your hours either. This method encourages accountability, and by tracking your progress, you reinforce your commitment to your goals. As you start dedicating time to these priorities, you may find areas of your life that require recalibration. Perhaps you discover that you've been spending too much energy on activities that do not align with your values or goals. This realization can be a powerful motivator for change. Tracking your time for awareness. Another valuable tip is to track how you spend your time for a whole week. Create a log where you record how you allocate your time in blocks of 30 or 60 minutes. At the end of the week, review your log with honesty. Examine where you might have squandered time. Was it due to mindless scrolling on social media, overcommitting to obligations, or failing to set boundaries? Conversely, where did you invest your time wisely? Identifying these patterns is an essential step towards mastering your time. Awareness is the precursor to change. By acknowledging where you waste time, you can proactively shift your focus. Maybe you realize that evenings spent binge-watching shows could be repurposed into a more fulfilling activity, like reading a book related to your field or developing a new skill. Being aware of how you utilize your time is the first step towards time mastery and subsequently personal mastery. The cost of wasted time. As you delve deeper into the practice of intentional living, remember that time is a non-renewable resource. Every minute spent on tasks that lead you toward your goals is a minute you will never reclaim. Think of time as currency. You wouldn't spend all your money frivolously, so why would you treat your time any differently? This issue becomes particularly pronounced when you consider the opportunity cost of your time. For instance, the time you spend scrolling social media could instead be used for activities that yield personal growth, such as networking, furthering your education, or exercising. When you begin to view time in this way, you develop a keen sense of the value of each moment, and it becomes easier to make choices that align with your aspirations. Living with purpose. As you navigate your daily life, ask yourself regularly, if today were your last day, would you feel proud of how you spent it? This poignant question can serve as a powerful guiding force in decision-making. It brings perspective to the momentary distractions and minor annoyances that often seem all-consuming. By using this question to scope your choices, you reinforce the idea that time should be treated with reverence. Each moment is sacred, and when you act intentionally, you unlock the potential for profound transformation over time. The compound effect of intentionality. Investing your time wisely leads to compounding effects over the long run. Small, consistent actions taken each day can result in significant progress over months and years. For example, dedicating just 30 minutes a day to learning a new skill may not seem like a lot, but over a year, that adds up to over 180 hours of focused practice. Imagine the level of proficiency and opportunities that could arise from that commitment. Creating a habit of intentionality also encourages a growth mindset. As you witness real improvements in your life, whether in your career, relationships, or personal achievements, your mindset shifts. You become more motivated to set higher goals and challenge yourself further, creating a positive feedback loop that fosters ongoing development and accomplishment. Conclusion: transforming your life, one moment at a time. In conclusion, the way you choose to spend your time plays a critical role in determining the quality of your life. By embracing intentional living and learning to guard your hours fiercely, you begin to transform your life one deliberate moment at a time. Each decision to act purposefully stacks upon the last, leading to increased satisfaction, fulfillment, and achievement. Consciously choosing how to spend your time means rediscovering joy in the process, finding meaning in every moment, and ultimately crafting a life that reflects your deepest values and passions. The journey of mastering your time is ongoing. However, with each step you take towards intentionality, you will discover that living in alignment with your goals is not just possible, it's fundamentally life-changing. So dive deeper into your time management journey, remain aware and celebrate the transformative power of a life well lived. Chapter 10. Radical Honesty and Proving Change Through Action. Change is a multifaceted concept, a journey marked by introspection, willingness, and the courage to confront uncomfortable truths. At the heart of this transformation lies a principle often overlooked: radical honesty. This is not merely about being truthful in our interactions with others. It is about fostering a deep, unflinching honesty with ourselves. Radical honesty empowers us to face the hard realities of our lives, illuminating the areas where we are falling short and clarifying what we genuinely need to change. One might wonder, why is honesty so crucial in our journey toward personal transformation? The answer lies in the recognition that growth cannot occur in a state of denial. When we shield ourselves from our shortcomings, we ignore the very problems that hinder our progress. For example, consider someone who aspires to lead a healthier lifestyle. They might tell themselves, "I eat healthy most of the time," but upon deeper reflection through radical honesty, they may find that quick processed meals dominate their diet. This uncomfortable realization might sting, but it is precisely this acknowledgement that lays the groundwork for meaningful change. Excuses are the refuge of those unwilling to confront their truths. We often hide behind a veil of good intentions, claiming, "I'll start tomorrow," or "I'm trying my best." These phrases become our comfort blanket, insulating us from accountability and the harsh light of reality. Radical honesty strips away these illusions, granting us the clarity necessary to recognize the behaviors that hold us back. It forces us to face ourselves without pretense, unveiling the gamut of our actions and omissions for what they truly are. To illustrate this, envision two individuals with aspirations of improving their health. The first individual rationalizes their habits, arguing that they are making enough effort by occasionally choosing a salad over fast food. However, when they indulge in sugary snacks and skip workouts, they remain stuck in a cycle of stagnation. The second individual commits to radical honesty about their lifestyle. They assess their eating habits, recognize their weaknesses, and openly confront the fact that they often compromise on their health. This brutal truth may be challenging to digest, but it becomes the catalyst for actionable change. It's essential to understand that honesty alone isn't the panacea for transformation. True change emerges from actions, not just intentions or words. Each day, every decision we make is a vote for the kind of person we aspire to be. Whether it is dedicating time to read, prioritizing physical activity, or embracing patience, these actions collectively build the foundation of our character. Words without action are hollow. It is through the daily practice of our values that we demonstrate our commitment to change. Consider two aspiring entrepreneurs. One spends countless hours talking about their brilliant business ideas, but takes minimal concrete steps to bring them to fruition. The other, however, actively engages in small, consistent actions every day, whether that means researching the market, networking with potential partners, or refining their business model. Over time, it becomes clear which individual will thrive. Change is not born out of idle wishes or endless planning. It flourishes through disciplined action. A practical approach to fostering this transformation involves selecting a specific area of your life where you desire significant change. Start by breaking that area down into manageable, measurable actions that you can incorporate into your daily routine. Start small to avoid feeling overwhelmed and gradually build momentum. For instance, if you want to improve your fitness levels, you might commit to walking for 10 minutes daily, drinking more water, or preparing healthy meals each week. Keep track of your progress, whether through journaling or using a digital app. Regularly reviewing your actions allows you to reflect honestly on your journey. This practice not only aids in accountability, but also provides valuable insights into what works and what doesn't. If you find yourself consistently skipping workouts, ask why. Are you tired, bored, unmotivated? Use this candid self-reflection to adjust your approach. Perhaps you need a workout buddy or a more engaging exercise routine. Celebrate each small victory, regardless of how minor it may seem. Recognizing progress, even in incremental steps, reinforces your commitment to change and boosts your morale. As we draw this chapter to a close, it is crucial to remember that the journey towards success starts with you. It commences with an unwavering commitment to radical honesty, coupled with accountability for your actions. Setting clear intentions is vital, but intentions alone are insufficient. It involves the decision to act today, despite any underlying fears or doubts, and to show up consistently as the person you aspire to be. The path of personal growth does not conclude with this audiobook. Each day presents a new opportunity to embrace growth over comfort, to take ownership of our decisions, and to vote for our best selves with every choice we make. Radical honesty, coupled with consistent and deliberate action, will not just transform your life. It will provide you with undeniable evidence that change is achievable when you take responsibility for your actions. Ultimately, your life is yours to shape. The question remains, will you act? The journey may be daunting, filled with challenges and setbacks, but with radical honesty and purposeful action, you possess the power to steer your life in a direction that aligns with your true values and aspirations. Embrace this challenge, not only for yourself but also as a gift to those around you, inspiring them to pursue their growth journeys while cultivating an environment where accountability and honesty thrive. In conclusion, take a moment to reflect on your life. Ask yourself where you might be holding back due to fear or uncertainty. What truths have you been avoiding? What small changes can you make today that will lead you closer to your ideal self? Each moment is a choice point, an invitation to act with integrity and to embrace the beauty of personal evolution. The road ahead may be winding and filled with obstacles, but with radical honesty and determination, you can carve a path that leads to profound transformation. Will you step forward and embrace that possibility? The answer lies within you, and it begins with a single step. Summary. Success begins with you. How to Become Your Best Self serves as a comprehensive and actionable roadmap for personal transformation. Throughout its 10 insightful chapters, this guide delves into the concept of personal ownership, empowering readers to take full responsibility for their lives and choices. You'll explore the difference between temporary motivation and sustainable action, equipping yourself with strategies to foster habits that support long-term success. The book emphasizes the critical importance of stepping outside your comfort zone, illustrating how true growth often requires embracing discomfort and uncertainty. You will learn effective techniques for holding yourself accountable, even in the absence of external supervision, thereby cultivating a strong sense of self-discipline. Additionally, Success Begins with You encourages you to embody your ideal self in the present, offering practical methods to overcome self-imposed limitations and excuses. Time management is addressed with intentionality, teaching you how to prioritize tasks that align with your goals and values. Radical honesty is another cornerstone of the book, advocating for transparency in both self-reflection and communication with others. Through this lens, you will come to appreciate the power of vulnerability as a vehicle for profound change. Ultimately, each chapter culminates in actionable insights, allowing you to enact daily disciplined practices that lead to measurable improvements. By the conclusion of this audiobook, you will possess a well-defined roadmap for reclaiming control of your life and achieving the enduring results you've always envisioned.